Let me get recording. Yay! Okay. Um, if you're here to learn about mobile beacon and lending of wireless hotspots, woohoo, you are in the right place. So very excited to have Brianna Waiters. Is that how I say her last name? Brianna Waiters here today. Um, they Mobile Beacon, full disclosure, is who we use, and we have been incredibly happy with them at our library. So that is my bias, and we actually did try other things out first. There are other places that do enable lending of wireless hotspots. Um, but Mobile Beacon came up to us and was willing to chat to this group about some really innovative things they do. And I think it's really exciting to see what can be done and how easily it can be done now because it didn't used to be so easy. So, Brianna, I'm really excited to chat with you a little bit more about this and hear some of the lessons learned from your perspective, having worked with so many libraries and nonprofits and folks across the nation. So, I'll let you kind of take it away.
Awesome. Sounds good. Thank you, Hazel, for such an amazing introduction. Hello, everyone. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so that way we can all. Oh, I guess I don't have sharing. Let me see if I can send the request. Uh,
Yeah, sorry, that was my bad. I should make you
okay.
a co-host here. There you are.
Perfect.
Yes, now you should have the power.
Awesome. All right, let's see. Share. Okay, are we seeing my screen?
Absolutely. Looks great.
Awesome. Perfect. Okay. So yes, as I mentioned, thank you everyone for joining us here today. I'm so excited to be here on behalf of Mobile Weekend and welcome, of course, to From Books to Broadband, an affordable internet solution for your library. So, like I mentioned, I'm excited. I want to give everyone a big hello and also a big thank you once again to Hazel for allowing Mobile Weekend to come and share with you today. Of course, I just want to kick things off really quickly and get an idea of where some folks are logging in from. I know it's not many of us on here, but I'm very curious if where everyone is, coming from today. So if you could just drop your location in the chat. I'm not the only person here from Mobile Beacon today. I'm also joined by Lauren and Roseanne, who are our marketing and communications manager, as well as our customer service manager. So they're going to be here in the chat. So in case you have any questions or concerns throughout this presentation, um, please feel free to drop your, questions in the chat and they'll be sure to be right on top of it. They know the ins and outs of Mobile Beacon better than me. So they'll be sure to answer your questions. Rhode Island is, or Mobile Beacon is actually based out of Rhode Island. I'm located in North Carolina. So that's why I'm a little curious to where everyone is deriving from today. But like I mentioned, I'm very excited to be here. Let's just jump right in and I'll just tell you a little bit about myself. Let's go to the next slide here. There we go. Um, so just about me, my name is Brianna Waiters. I'm the program coordinator here at Mobile Beacon. I've been with Mobile Beacon for about 6 years now, and over time, I've developed a passion for just digital inclusion as a whole. As a program coordinator, I've worked with libraries and nonprofits and different sorts of organizations all throughout. And it's been, an amazing journey these past 6 years. I really get to see and be in the weeds of doing good work. And helping bridge the digital divide across the country. That's the wonderful thing about Mobile Beacon. Even though we're a fairly small organization, we service a lot of people, and we're making a huge impact. And we're hoping that we can continue to grow as the years continue on. So, like I said, I'm very excited to be here. I'll go ahead on to the next slide and just share a little bit about who Mobile Beacon is. First, I'll just give you all a overview of some of the things that we're going to be talking about today. So we're going to learn a little bit about Mobile Beacon. That's what I'm going to go over now. Also, some reasons why libraries choose us. I think that's very important. Also, the most popular solutions that Mobile Beacon offers that may be useful to you all. Some information into one of our partnerships, our Tech Soup program. our BYOD program, or Bring Your Own Device program, how to start a lending program, some tips and tricks, and of course we'll have some time at the end for Q&A. But as I mentioned, if you all have any questions at all, please feel free to just drop them in the chat as the presentation continues. And at the end we'll have Q&A, but you can also follow up with us by email or phone, or visit many of our resources that we have online on our website. That is not the next one. Let's go back here. Okay, so I'm going to share with you, as I mentioned, a little bit about Mobile Beacon. First off, I would like to know if anyone here has heard of Mobile Beacon. If you're a customer of Mobile Beacon, I would love to know if anyone here has heard of us or has any of our hotspots out in your library. Please let us know in the chat. Very curious. But yes, so just some little insight into who, what, where, why Mobile Beacon. We provide affordable, reliable, high-speed internet access to schools, libraries, nonprofits, and healthcare organizations across the country, enabling them to expand digital access and inclusion and fostering stronger, more connected communities. Of course, libraries is one of our key communities that we serve in our mission here at Mobile Beacon. With over 1,800 libraries we're currently servicing, which means 1,800 libraries currently have hotspots in circulation at their libraries across the country. So it's really, really important to note that our reach has grown over the years. We've been born for a while now, so we continue to grow year over year, and it's amazing to say that we have over 1,800 libraries that are currently using us, currently making an impact in their community, and continuously bridging the digital divide. With that, there's over 30,000 devices in circulation at this moment, and on average, 90 gigs a month is what we're seeing for usage in a lot of the patrons that use our devices. So with unlimited, access to internet, the sky's the limit, so to speak, for the way that people are utilizing our devices and internet access. So it's a really great way to stay connected. So yeah, now that we know a little bit about Mobile Beacon, let's talk about why folks trust us to power their library. So first, let's talk about the unmatched savings, right? First of all, Mobile Beacon's internet service is only $10 a month with no data caps, no surprises. So you pay one price, and that's for the entire year. For $10 a month for the entire year. So that'd be $120. You pay that one time and you're set for the year. With this, the climate of the economy, things often change. So just being able to have a locked in price for an entire year, especially at $120, I'm not sure about all of you, but that's almost the price of my internet for just 1 month of being at home. So to have that ability for the entire year, have a locked in price is really unmatched. And I know there's not a lot of people, not a lot of options out there for folks to have these sort of savings. So that's one great reason why libraries choose us. Another one is we're on the country's most fastest and reliable 4G, 5G network. So our hotspots are powered through T-Mobile, which, as I mentioned, is one of the largest, one of the fastest, and one of the most reliable networks out there. So when it comes to having your hotspot, powering and doing the things that you need, it's not something that you need to worry about, losing connection often or not having service depending on your areas. Of course, we're not in every single nook and cranny of the country yet, but just having that ability to connect wherever you are and have fast speed is really important. So that's another reason why folks choose us. Another important reason why libraries trust us is our easy, no-cost data management. One of the features that we offer is our block and allow services that protect hotspots and encourage timely returns at no additional cost, of course. So patrons or libraries like this option because when you have issues with returns or you're not receiving timely information from folks that are having the hotspots out, you can easily turn on and off service to those devices. And that helps facilitate the return of the devices and helps magically locate where these devices may be because of that simple option. And once again, that is at no additional cost. So that's a really great option for folks. And then lastly, we offer a variety of flexible solutions, right? So it's not just hotspots. I know that may be my keyword of the day. It's one of our most popular solutions, but it's not our only solution. We have a variety of hardware options. So you can choose from our own hotspots, our routers, also tablets, and fairly new to Mobile Beacon is, excuse me, your option to bring your own device. So I know we all have probably somewhere in our garage or a kitchen drawer, yeah, a plethora of devices and cords and just trinkets and batteries where you may have, things that are just not being used. So if you have a device, a hotspot device that you have, but you haven't had service in a while, that you're looking to just bring service back to, that's an option that we have with Mobile Beacon. As long as you have a compatible device, you're able to get connected with our service and get up and running fairly quickly. So it's a really great option. I'll be diving deeper into that bring your own device option, but it's really one exciting solution that folks really enjoy. Um, Moving on to next here. Of course, it's great to hear from me. I've been with the company for 6 years, so I have a lot of great things to say. But it's always good to hear from someone else directly. And why not someone that, has our service out there? I know Hazel uses us in our hotspots and had great things to say at the beginning of the presentation, but I also brought along Tracy. Everyone say hello to Tracy. She's from Ames Public Library. And this is directly from Tracy's words. She's shared with us that Ames Public Library started circulating hotspots using Mobile Beacon hotspots and services in 2018. What started as 5 hotspots that circulated for a week has grown to 115 hotspots that check out to customers for a month at a time. Customers have been so thankful for the service when they are struggling with digital connection. Customers have shared stories of using the hotspots to apply for jobs, work remotely, complete schoolwork, stay connected with family, and connect in areas where Wi Fi is non existent, unreliable, or cost prohibitive for them. Staff have found the devices easy to manage and sturdy, and Mobile Beacon has been outstanding to work with. Thank you, Tracy, for those wonderful words. Yeah, so I think that's a true testament to the mission that we serve, the community that we serve. A lot of what we do, a lot of the solutions and innovations that we've created and launched over the years are because of the community. And anytime that there's a need that needs to be served, it's something that Mobile Beacon looks into, and why we have been so successful with libraries over the last few years is because it's really the things that we offer are derived around you. So, um, yes, let's go into the next slide here and let's talk about our most popular solutions for libraries of all sizes. I know there's probably a variety of folks that are watching this now that are different sizes of libraries. But the wonderful thing about us is we service all sizes, and our solutions can sort of span across, a variety of sizes as well. So one of the ways that libraries use us is to power their lending libraries. It helps build stronger communities through flexible lending programs. Of course, some most popular ways are people having sort of check in, check out processes for hotspots. So they allow their patrons to take them home for a week at a time, a month at a time, whatever's needed. And then they can come back and check them in, similar to the traditional checking in and out of books and other resources at the library. A lot of folks also like to have areas within their library, or even like bookmobiles at their library to have connection for when patrons come and visit, they are able to get connected with their devices, so they can bring their own laptop, get connected, get homework done, apply to jobs, whatever's needed. That's a really popular way that folks use our services and our hotspots. And I'll dive a little bit deeper into how to start a lending program, some helpful tips and tricks a little bit later. Another solution that we offer that's very popular amongst libraries is our BYOD program, or Bring Your Own Device program. So as I mentioned a little bit earlier, and I'll dive a little bit deeper later as well, it's a really great way to not only save money, but also reduce waste when you're able to bring your own device and just get started. So like I said, I'll dive a little bit deeper into that later. Another great solution that we offer is our partnership with TechSoup, which is another great nonprofit organization. And with our partnership, you're able to receive up to 11 completely free, yes, I did say free 4G devices, which is an amazing option for, folks that are, of course, looking to save, who's not looking to save. But yes, it's a great option if you're interested in our 4G devices. You're able to have that program as well as some other things that we offer with this partnership that I'll once again talk about a little later. And another way people use us is just having a backup internet safety net, especially with these natural disasters that we've seen in recent times. It's been a very popular way that libraries and all of our other customers as well have utilized our hotspots. So when services go down, when power lines are down and things of that nature, you're not able to connect to your, major connection that's within your library or your organization as a whole. You can pull out a hotspot and help folks get connected, have your staff continue to be connected, help people, fill out applications and things of that nature. So it's been a great way. And natural disasters aside, even just, having a secure network when the power goes out or whatever may happen, it's a really great option for folks. So those are a few ways that people are utilizing our services here at Mobile Beacon. So let's talk a little bit deeper about our partnership with TechSoup. It's one of our most valuable resources for libraries, and more specifically, our donation and discount program that we offer. So this program is available to eligible libraries and systems, and it's designed to help you stretch your budget while expanding internet access for the communities you serve. So the way that it works is through our partnership. Libraries can access our unlimited internet service for only $10 a month or $120 for the year, along with donated and discounted devices, which is an ideal solution for libraries that don't have reliable building internet, as we sort of spoke about, or need a low cost backup option. If folks are looking to launch or expand a hotspot lending program, you need connectivity for pop-up libraries, bookmobiles, as I discussed. These are very great options. So the way that it works is you get your first 11 4G devices for $0. You only have to pay TechSoup's nominal admin fee, and you receive free devices for multiple branches. So if you're a library system that maybe has 5 or 10 different branches within your system, you're able to get up to 11 4G devices for free. As I mentioned, you only pay the admin fee and the service, and that's it. Of course, you're able to get more than 11, so you get the first 11 for free. But outside of that, you're able to still take advantage of Mobile Beacon's very affordable and budget-friendly costs. So if you need more than 11, you need 20, get your 11 for free, then you get your 9 at the discounted rate through Mobile Beacon directly. And with that, and with TechSoup, it's not just limited to the 4G devices. Of course, it depends on your needs of your library and your community that you're serving, but you're able to have the 11 up to 11 donated 4G hotspots, but you're also able to get a discount on 11 5G hotspots. So if you're looking for a more powerful connection or to serve a little bit more, a few more people than what the 4G is able to offer, then you're able to go 5G. It's not discounted, but I'm sorry, it's not donated, but it is discounted additionally. So as we know, Mobile Beacons, we're a nonprofit serving nonprofits, so we're already pretty affordable in our, service options and hardware costs. But so on top of that discount that we already offer, you're able to take advantage of another discount when you go through this program. So it's a very great option. And you can do the same for 4G tablets. So depending on your need, as I mentioned, you're able to utilize the TechSoup program to get whatever hardware works best for you. And if you're looking to learn a little bit more, of course, you can visit our website /TechSoup and find out more about this program. And if you, of course, as I mentioned before, if you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat or reach out to us directly. We'd be happy to help you. Another fantastic solution that we offer, as I mentioned before, is our Bring Your Own Device program. No device left behind connects what you already own. So go ahead, dig in that um, supply closet that may have some devices that you haven't used in some time, and see what you may be able to bring on to Mobile Beacon service, all at the affordable cost. As I mentioned, you can stretch your budget by only having to pay the service fee and then a one-time activation fee for those devices. So you're saving on your hardware costs even more by having to not even pay anything in order to get up and running. So it's a very great solution, and you're also saving the environment when you're doing such a thing. So it's a really great option for libraries that are not only looking to, cut costs even further, but you already have things in use, so or in use or available. So why not utilize them and reduce some waste? So it's a really great option for folks, and I highly recommend. Um, Next, what's important for us to talk about is, of course, what it looks like to launch a lending program. So I'm curious as well, the folks that are here on this call, if anyone here has a lending program at your library. If you could just drop maybe, a few tips or any sort of insight that you may have to folks that are looking to um, begin a lending library, what that sort of looks like, and anything that may be helpful to others. But lending libraries, it may sound a little daunting, but as long as you're prepared, as long as you have a road ahead and sort of an outline of what it is that you're looking to achieve, it's a lot easier than what it seems. And of course, that's why we're here to help. So I'm going to go over some quick steps on how you can sort of get your lending library up and running and do so in an efficient manner. So the first thing that you want to do is check your coverage. You want to verify that your library and the area you serve are in our coverage area. As I mentioned, we're on one of the largest networks in the country, but we are unfortunately not in every nook and cranny. So it's very, very important that you, of course, check your coverage and make sure that our service is in your area. That's very important. After you do that, you want to plan your program. Of course, you want to look at your budget, identify the scope of your program, set targeted and measurable goals. In this is also important to identify your community, identify your audience. If you have a lot of parents or families in your community that are sort of looking at how they can get connected for their school children, maybe our tablets are a fantastic option because it helps, being on the go, or allowing the kids to do homework right on the tablet. The fantastic thing about the tablet is it's already powered with the internet. So instead of having to connect it to another device in order to receive internet access, it already has it built in one. So you just one device already powered and do everything right from there. So it's a great option for that, or even maybe for your library staff to do if the front desk maybe is getting pretty crowded, full of patrons checking in and out and asking questions. You're able to maybe set up a different table, a smaller table with the tablet, and take things on the go, and able to complete work that way. So it's a great solution. We have a variety of solutions for whatever your needs are, and that's sort of the step that you want to do when you're planning your program. Look at the needs that you're looking to address, and then in comparison with our solutions, and see what best fits your community. The next thing that's important is that you want to set your policies. You want to set up guidelines for barring hotspots, identify return policies, establish any overdue fines or liabilities, and what proper use and care policies are in place. It's very, very important to make sure that you're starting off on the right foot and have a clear understanding of what that looks like for not only your staff, but as well as your patrons. Then most importantly as well, I feel like I said that for every step here, but each step is very critical, but it's also equally important to tell your community about it. It's a great thing to have a program, but if nobody knows about it, it's like, why? So of course you want to tell your community, spread the word on your website, social media channels, press releases, and then post notices at your library. You want to get the word out there so people are taking advantage of the amazing program that you have. So these are some quick, easy, simple steps that you're able to get started with your lending program. So um, Yes, I'll move on to the next slide here. And I just want to encourage you all to not let naughty patrons discourage you. I know it can be, like I said before, a little daunting if you're new to, lending programs and introducing hardware options to your library. But we've implemented some fantastic solutions and ways that you can manage devices and have more control. It may feel as though, when you're hearing this, you just may be thinking about a lot of the negatives that come with it. And, that's natural, right? There's, of course, going to be those naughty patrons that are doing things that they're not supposed to, have no intent on maybe returning or not doing so in a timely manner. A lot of things can happen, right? But we have that in mind with a lot of our solutions, and we've introduced a lot of features to sort of prohibit that or just introduce a lot more control. Things are going to happen, but at least you can, have more control. So some of those things are your ability for simple device management. Um, Back to the block and allow process that we or service that we mentioned earlier in this webinar. You're able to easily block and allow service. So if someone is late on returning, you can block that service. They magically, once again, bring back their device. Hey, something's wrong with my device. Oh, okay, we'll fix it for you. And then, once they return it, you're able to turn service back on and give it to the next patron or however it may work. The same thing if you lose a device, you don't want to, just have someone out there that's randomly using your service that you're paying for. So you can block that service. If you find it, you're able to turn it back on. If not, we have even more simple replacement process that you're able to abide by to get back up and running very smoothly. So that's a really great option that libraries enjoy. Also, of course, is our straightforward pricing with no surprises. We are fixed price. You pay your service fee for a year, any upfront costs are one time, and that's it. As I mentioned before, this economy is very um, up and down, right? So there's a lot of changes when it comes to prices. Eggs are through the roof. Gas is going up and down. So one thing that you can count on is, having a set price for something, and that's one thing that we offer and a lot of folks enjoy. So you can guarantee that our service will be this price for the entire year. We pay it that 1 year or 2 years, you're done. So it's a really great option for folks. Of course, you also want to ensure that folks are having safe browsing habits. The way that we help introduce this is with our SIPA content filtering. So it's optional. So it's not something that needs to be on every single one of your devices, but it is an option for folks to ensure that people are not doing things that they're not supposed to on your devices. Lastly, you have support when you need it. With our 24/7 technical support line, you're able to get help when you need it. If something's not working, it's not connecting, you can't quite figure out whatever it is, you're able to call the support line and get help when you need it. So it's very helpful. And as I mentioned, having a lending program and offering hotspots and devices to your patrons can seem like a tall task, but when you're powered with, more control abilities and different features that allow you to, see and manage things, makes it a lot easier. So with that in mind, I hope that encourages you all to, introduce a lending program, maybe get more devices, or whatever the case may be. I hope that does encourage you a little bit more. Lastly, here, I just want to talk about some tips and tricks. So if you have been inspired to create a lending program or grow your lending program, I want to just share some tips and tricks for running a successful lending program. So as I mentioned before, I'm not sure if there's any folks here that have lending programs in their libraries right now. But if you are someone that does and you do have some tips and tricks and that are not here, feel free to drop those in the chat. Share with us what you all, are doing to help another library that, is interested in this or growing it, or maybe they're just, they just need help that they don't really realize. So if you have any tips and tricks, please drop them below. But one tip we can suggest is to establish clear borrowing guidelines. We kind of touched on this earlier, but you want to create these guidelines in order to, hold some accountability and fairness, and, ensure smooth lending operations. Some things that you can introduce are maybe requiring patrons to be 18 plus with an adult library card in good standing. You can limit lending to one person per hotspot. You can set a 14-day, 21-day, however long period, loan period to ensure fair access for everyone. So you want to make sure folks are not necessarily hogging them, especially if you only have a few devices, in circulation at your library. It's a great idea to do such a thing, and also allow holds if it's a popular um, option for folks, which it typically is with a lot of our libraries. You want to maybe consider allowing holds up to potentially 24 to 48 hours in order to pick up and then release to the next patron. You also want to consider implementing overdue policies, maybe block devices after the due date has passed, and consider any, modest late fees for folks. So if you're not receiving those devices back, you're blocking those devices because that is the policy. So you want to set those clear guidelines and policies early out, and make it very easy for people to adhere to from the very beginning. So not only your staff, but your patrons. If all of this information is ready and available, no one really has room to complain or fight, even though they will. But the room, there's not a lot of room for, argument there, because it's very clear and defined. So that's very important. The next thing is you want to introduce these simple tools to manage your devices. So, in addition to the block and allow tool that we offer and the SIPA content filtering, one thing you can potentially do is create a spreadsheet that tracks a lot of the essential information. So maybe you have a check-in, check-out system. It doesn't, if you're, non-fancy and don't have, an entire database or platform that allows you to do it electronically, you can just do a simple spreadsheet that has all the information on it. So it has the serial number, the model number, the phone number of the device, the person that's checking it out, how long they're planning to check it out for, when it's due, is it past due, maybe the reason that they're using it for, their contact information, all that information you want to have in one central place. So when there are any issues, or you're, looking for a device, or just need to answer a question, you're able to refer to that spreadsheet or out that, database of information that you have in order to help you, solve any problems or answer any questions that you may have. So you definitely want to, be organized in that sense and have a, reliable system to manage all of this information. Um, Thirdly, here, you want to make help easy to find, right? So you can provide simple troubleshooting and care guides for both patrons and staff. Make it clear, easy to follow instructions for common issues like connectivity, charging, basic setup, and all of this can save time, reduce support questions, and ensure a smoother experience for everyone using the devices. So it's a great option. We have a lot of, resources on our website, of course, but if a lot of this information is, maybe on a small laminated card when folks are checking out, or even at the front desk, or little pamphlets that you create, whatever it is, or QR code to our website for folks to just have that information handy. You just want to make it available so that way it, limits confusion, and everybody has a place that they can easily access any information without having to bother you while you're working. um, Lastly, here is then the last tip is just to start small, grow with confidence, right? You don't need to sort of jump out the window with 100 um, devices right off the bat. If you're very new to lending programs and hotspots in general, maybe start with one. Test your coverage, as we mentioned. Test your processes. Make sure that your staff is in the know of, how these work, how they can help the check-in, check-out process. Set those guidelines. Start with that, and then you can grow as demand grows, right? So start with one, start with five, start with 10, if you feel the need, and then you can grow as time goes on. So these are the tips and tricks that, we've sort of put together, and the information that we've provided for, the lending program, a little bit about Mobile Beacon. And I hope all of this information is very helpful to you all. I hope you were able to gain some knowledge into, who Mobile Beacon is, what we are, why we are, who we serve. And I hope, once again, you are inspired to start your own lending program, grow your lending program, dig out those old devices that are in that supply closet, and, get access started again for your communities. But once again, if anyone has any questions, feel free to, drop them in the chat. You can follow up with us by email, visit our website. A lot of our resources are on our website. We have a very detailed FAQ that can help you with, a lot of your needs there. And of course, if, you need one-on-one support, we are more than happy to help you. Once again, Hazel, thank you so very much for allowing us this platform to share with you all. And we look forward to servicing you. Thank you again.
Woohoo! Brianna, that was fabulous. Folks, you don't know, I saw Brianna do a presentation for TechSoup, and I was like, this was a really good presentation. And then I was like, and if you added like these points in, it would be a really helpful presentation. And then, of course, for this, they totally added those points in, and I was like, you're going to blow some humans' minds with what, with how possible this is. Oh my God. Yeah, look. This seems very possible. Exactly, exactly.
Good.
And I can tell you, I've didn't mean to, but my uh email box was bopping, like putting up little bubbles throughout this time, and someone saying, I got this really sad. Hazel, I can't believe I'm missing this. Did you have to schedule it on a vacation weekend? I guess it's a holiday weekend for some people. So anyway, we have a very small group today, but I can tell you from the way my email inbox is going, there's a lot of people who are going to watch this recording.
Yes.
Um, so yeah, overwhelmed with how to make it work, Sally. Yeah, exactly. But are you feeling like better now, right? Okay, so I
Yeah.
have some I'm going to ask you some pointed questions that I'm pretty sure I know the answer to, but I want to make sure that gets out. So before we found you folks at our library at least, we had gone with some other providers, which were great, but we didn't read some of the fine print on that. And so we ran into trouble when one of our patrons decided to take the hotspot overseas, especially here. I'm in Maine and we're really close to Canada. So sometimes even you might not think you're going uh, outside of an airport coverage zone, but you are. And I know some of our folks are closer to Mexico or some other places. How does that work with mobile beacon hotspots? If for some reason, I'm up in the Maine woods and my signal starts going from Canada, will it charge me an arm and a leg like happened to me elsewhere, or will it shut off and just not give my patrons access?
That's a really great question, Hazel, and thank you for asking that. I'm going to leave it to Roseanne, who's our customer service manager, who I know often gets a lot of these questions, to answer that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Roseanne, thank you
Yeah.
so much for being here.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. And Brianna, you did do a fabulous job. So thank you for that in representing Mobile Beacon. We do get that question a lot, and the device will not work. We do have it noted on our website that the device will only work within the United States, and so you will not experience any charges or um, you know
Which
as a
is
result of that. So yeah.
Thank you. That is the answer I knew you guys provided, but we had a very large bill that we were not expecting.
Yeah, there'll be no
So
surprise fees.
exactly. Okay, that's phenomenal news. Um, and so I love how you went over some of this, some of the how you could set up the lending system. Something that I did put in the chat, but I just want to verbalize it here as well, is that some of us who do lend hotspots, we will share how we lend them. So we'll share our tags and our lending agreements and stuff. Specifically, I'll send out a list to our listserv with both the link to this recorded presentation on our website, but we'll also send, we have just what you suggested, Brianna, an agreement that then we laminated and attached to the device, and it just goes out, and we haven't had any problems with that. Um, so
Very
thank
helpful.
you. Yeah, thank you for that suggestion. Another suggestion, which I think I also put in the chat, that we've really been happy with one of your services is that when you shut it off, if it doesn't come back, if you shut off the internet, we had a couple that didn't come back, but as soon as we put a giant sticker on the front of the the device that said, the internet will stop working when it's due. Everything came back from
Yeah,
then on.
magically,
Yeah.
magically, right?
Yeah. Well, because a lot of people I think don't, there's all sorts of needs in the world, and you'd be like, wow, if I could keep this and just have free internet, that'd be great. And I don't get me wrong, I wish we could provide that to our community. But this is that sticker was a game changer for us. So I think that might be a game changer for some other communities as well.
Definitely. Yeah, I haven't heard of that. I'm sure, or maybe Roseanne, but there's a lot of things that you can do to sort of, deter people from keeping them longer than they need. And as you mentioned, some people are not being, malicious at all. There's
No.
just a lot of need in the world. So it's, good and fair to just have a set policy. And like you mentioned, just make it clear for people if it goes beyond this period, then unfortunately you're going to lose service because other folks need it as well. So I think that's great that you had that.
Yeah,
Another
that was a great idea as well, Hazel. And I actually made a note of that. Best practices are always good to share with other libraries as well. So
Yeah, absolutely. I learned a bunch just from your TechSoup presentation, watching the other libraries in chat. Which again, thank you for making this possible with your nonprofits. Another thing I put into chat, which I just wanted to again call out on. Oh, actually, great, Lauren. It's a question. So this is a small enough group too. Lauren, obviously, you put your question in chat, but I should have started off. Um, I might be the one who like organizes this, but that's just by default because no one else is doing it. So you all can have the power. Please unmute. Please put yourself on mic. Please ask the questions away because that's what we're here for. We're here in this together. So there's actually some questions in chat now, wonderfully. First one is Brianna is there a cap on how large a collection can be when using Mobile Beacon, particularly if using their devices? So I'm not sure I understand that. Lauren, do you mean how many devices you can lend? Because it seems like it was unlimited, except you just get the 11 for free if you go through TechSoup. Is that right?
That's right. Yes.
yeah, I'm sorry, Brianna, go ahead. That is correct. There is no limit if you're purchasing directly from Mobile Beacon. Just in addition to what Mobile Beacon offers, we also have those programs that Brianna mentioned through TechSoup for additional cost savings. But there is no limit to the number of devices you can have and purchase.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. So, sorry, I just got slightly confused by that, but I appreciate that.
No worries. And even if you do take advantage of the TechSoup program and receive up to the 11 devices for free, that doesn't limit you to getting additional devices. That just puts the cap on the free devices, but outside of the 11, you can still get devices through Mobile Beacon at our, budget friendly cost. So you can get the 11 through mobile or through TechSoup for free, 4G devices, and then still get additional devices. So essentially there's no cap at all, just a cap on what you're able to get for free through TechSoup.
So on that note, I wanted to mention something. We here at uh, in the New England side of the states had a really good relationship with Goodwill of Northern New England, and they have over time have been able to donate items to us for our library of things. And so something that folks on this call or listening to the recording may want to think about is you probably have electronic recyclers in your area or folks who are dealing with a lot of electronic devices. So sometimes there's a person you can call and I'm happy if you're in Northern New England, I'll give you their number. They're lovely. But and say, hey, we're on the lookout for these devices. Could you, and we're a public library, we want to do this for the good to service your community and our community. They may very well be able to get devices that would work with this amazing program that you folks have to use devices that already exist. But the library just might have to be the go-between to make that connection happen.
Yeah, our Bring Your Own Device program has been monumental recently with, folks that, have devices and they sort of forgot about them, or maybe service has just gotten too expensive. You're able to, as long as it's compatible, and that's, important piece that I want to mention. It does have to be a compatible device. Unfortunately, we're not able to, accept all devices, but
Yeah.
if you go on our website, we have a page directly on there specifically about Bring Your Own Device program. So you can see if your device is eligible. put your information in there and it will check it for you. And as long as it is, then you're able to, get started. You pay that one-time activation fee of $30. You pay for your service, which is $10 a month or $120 for the year, and you're able to get going. So you skip over, that hardware cost and those additional fees and just have to worry about that, which is great.
That is great. So another question, I think, which is a really important one and that we were worried about too, Sally, so good question, is how complicated is it? So you say you do have a naughty patron. It happens, right? And then you need to turn off the internet on the device. How do you do that? Do you have to know how to code? What's the story?
So our block and allow process is very simple, but I'll let Roseanne talk about it a little more.
Yeah, so every organization, Mobile Beacon would provide you with a link to our online management tool where you can manage blocking and allowing the data on your devices at your convenience. And if for some reason you lose access to the link, you can contact customer service and we will provide that link to you. But it is very easy to use and you have that available and you can actually track the status of your request on that link as well.
And I'll say from a customer side, yeah, we've been extremely happy with the ease of use. It's much more, the only limiting factor is really they're never in, so we never have to store them because they just a constant rotating out. Also, I think something that has been Sally, to your question as well, which might have been another aspect of your question, is how easy are these things to use? I think it's at least where we're still having people who don't understand how to get on the internet. Like, how does this work? Right? Is it like, how is this little box the internet? How does that, this does not compute. But it was a game changer when we started did a little more explanation about it, and you could be like, people are like, wait a minute, you're telling me I could be in my car in Northern Maine, or I could be on my boat and I have a little box and I press a button and all of a sudden I have internet, and now it's really that easy, and it at least it has been for the devices we have. Are all of your devices that easy, where it's really you're just pressing a button, turning it on, and then connecting to that Wi-Fi on your phone or computer? Are they all managed like
It
that?
is, it is all that easy to use. All of the
Okay.
devices that we offer, the devices are shipped active and ready to use. So basically you're just plugging it in, connecting it to whatever device you want the Wi-Fi on, and you're in business.
And what about your tablets? Do you have to pay for the tablet? So your monthly fee for the tablet includes internet. And what happens if like the patron drops it or something? Do they come with it? Do you fix them if they're broken? How does this work?
Well, all the devices have a 1-year manufacturer's warranty. So
Perfect. Okay.
and within that 1-year warranty, you would be eligible for a replacement. If it is client damaged or patron damage, depending on the damage, you may have to purchase a replacement.
Yeah.
But if the damage is reasonable and just, the cost, just stuff that would happen,
Yeah.
then it would be covered under the warranty for a
Would
replacement.
For the tablets, and I know we didn't have you on here to talk about tablets, but you're here, so I'm curious, and no one else has a question, so thank you. Um, Say I want to download a bunch of apps. So I'm a librarian, I download all these cool apps, and I have admin, so I'm assuming I can download these apps on the tablet. But then I would lock it down so the patron can't download a bunch of apps on the tablet, or can the patron download a bunch of apps on the tablet?
They would be able to,
Okay.
but you can always do a factory reset to clear it.
Got it. I was gonna say, because I could see that being problematic real fast. But also you want them to be enabled and empowered to do what they need to do, of course, as well.
Right.
So factory reset would have to be part of our kind of process of, or checking what is or is not on it.
Yeah, you would want to do that in between patrons so
Yeah.
that the next patron doesn't have access to the information that, the previous patron.
Okay. So it doesn't have a software on it automatically, like deep freeze or something.
No.
Okay, cool. Cool. That's super helpful. We did this listserv actually just had a discussion about Chromebooks and lending of them as this, so that this tablet aspect that you provide is a really helpful addendum to that discussion because folks are definitely looking into it.
Great.
Okay, so again, it's a real small group today. Obviously, last Friday was really the last time we did a Friday one. It was really popular, but this group, I I got reminded it was Easter this weekend. So yeah, my bad. I forgot about that. Lesson learned. Um, but if anyone, any other questions for Brianna or Roseanne? I mean, I want to buy more, to be quite honest, for our library. They're so darn popular. So, and I expect it will be coming, but I expect you're going to hear from a number of these humans in the future. But any other questions? Just thank yous, it looks like. It looks, oh, yeah, I got some thank yous that came just to me as well. So, but I think they meant for everyone. So, Brianna and Roseanne, thank you so very much for taking the time to do this. It's, I really think this is going to help a number of people because it is a really daunting thing to be like, ooh, I know the bigger libraries are doing that, but like they have tech people, you know? And so what I love about this program, I really did feel that like that sometimes when we started doing this earlier on, but now with this program, we were lucky enough to use you through TechSoup, and it has just been phenomenal, the easiness with which we now don't really have to manage it. So thank you
Yeah.
for that.
Yay, I love that. And thank you for having us, of course. Thank you for allowing us the, platform to speak to everyone and share a little bit about us and show how undaunting it can be. Of course, it's still going to, not be the most perfect process that people introduce, but it doesn't have to be as heavy of a lift or management as people may think. So I'm glad that we had the opportunity to share with everyone. And once again, just thank you. We appreciate it.
Oh, it's a win-win. Well, great. So what we'll do for the folks, if you want to come back and you're like, wait a minute, they said something about that and I don't remember. Brianna said that they could contact TechSoup and Roseanne had something. Don't worry, we recorded this. What we're going to do is, as always, I'm going to put it up on our Library of Things mutual aid, the ugly website I made, but then I'll also send it out to the list with the documents, at least from our library, but I'll encourage other libraries who have lending agreements to send those out as well. So that then you guys will, hopefully it will be a copy and paste situation and anyone can do this. So, and then we'll get better together.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you all so very much for attending, for putting together this presentation, Brianna and Roseanne, for your insights. Really appreciate everything you're doing to make this easier for us. And we will see if we can get more folks connected to the digital world.
Great.
Yay.
Thank you so much and look
Thank
forward to
you.
working with you in the future.
All right. All my best. Have a lovely weekend, everyone.
You too. Bye-bye.